We all remember where we were on September 11th, 2001. The scale of loss was unimaginable. But there was one death that day, a murder in New York City, that had nothing to do with terrorism. It barely made the news, and it was never solved. I'm Mike Cobb, and this is the story of Henryk Siwiak. I share the stories that shape the narrative, and this is one of them. Henryk was a Polish immigrant, 46 years old. Back in Krakow, he had been a teacher and an inspector for the Polish railways. But after losing his job, he came to New York to work. Illegally, yes, but honorably, to support his wife and children back home. He lived in Queens with his sister and picked up whatever jobs he could get, construction, cleaning, anything really. On the morning of 9/11, like everyone else, he watched the skyline change forever. That night, he got a cleaning job through a Polish employment agency. They told him to report to a Pathmark grocery store in Brooklyn. The problem is, his English wasn't great and the directions were vague. He ended up in Bed-Stuy, a neighborhood then plagued by gun violence. He wore camouflage pants, a dark jacket, and carried a backpack. To someone on the street, he may have looked suspicious, maybe like a threat, maybe like a mark. Just before midnight, on Decatur Street near Albany Avenue, someone fired 7 shots at him. One bullet hit him in the lung. He managed to stagger to a nearby brownstone and ring the bell, trying to get help. But the person inside was too afraid to open the door. He collapsed on the stoop. By the time police arrived, he was already dead. Here's the part that haunts me. Because of the surrounding chaos at the Twin Towers, every homicide detective in the city was working at ground zero. The Siwiak crime scene wasn't processed properly. No one canvassed the neighborhood that night. No interviews, no real follow-up. It wasn't until 2 days later that Henryk's death was even treated like a proper homicide. And by then, whatever evidence there might have been was long gone. There was no robbery. His wallet still contained $75. No known enemies, just a man in the wrong place at the worst possible time. His wife, Ewa, and their 2 kids were left waiting back in Poland. He told them he would call. He never did. His sister, with whom he lived, told police she had begged him not to go out that night. She had a bad feeling, but he needed the work. He was buried not far from Krakow. His tombstone bears 2 dates: his birth and the day the world changed. We lost nearly 3,000 lives on 9/11, and we will carry the memories of that tragic day for the rest of our lives. But let's not forget the murder that had nothing to do with planes or terror or war. Henryk Siwiak died trying to build a better life. His killer was never found. This is the kind of story I'm drawn to, where tragedy hides in plain sight and the truth refuses to be buried. I write books about murder, overlooked victims, and the human stories that deserve more light. You can learn more about my work at MikeCobbWriter.com. Thanks for watching.